Hello people, and welcome back to another episode of Cities, Skylines, Modular Builds. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. And we are just chilling out at the start of this episode over by the new Canal Side Residential, which is, you guys really enjoyed this episode. This was by far the most popular modular build we've done. And yeah, we had some great little suggestions. Someone suggested to actually upgrade these paths here into cycling paths, cycling roads, which would make your area stand out a little more. Nice little roads here, and you can do it kind of around there as well. And also throw on an encouraged biking city planning policy as well. Yeah, but you guys really enjoyed this, so thank you so much for all the support on that episode. I do really like this build. And yeah, thank you so much. If you'd like to see it, it was the last modular build uploaded. You can find it in the playlist link below, and recently uploaded to the channel as well. So, as you would have seen by the title of today's episode, we are finally going to be doing a farm. So I've been messing with a couple of ideas off camera, kind of over the last few weeks about kind of farmland, so we're going to dive into this. So, for this particular build, you are obviously going to need the Industries DLC to get access to the expanded farming stuff. I guess you could still do this with the kind of base game industry, farming industry, but it won't look as good. And you certainly won't make as much money out of it either. So obviously to build any kind of industry stuff, you're going to have the natural resource on here. So fertile land is what we're going to be using for our farming area, which is highlighted by this big lime green patch that we have over here. When you're kind of building any industrial area, I always advise that you build them right near a highway, purely because industries is pretty unbalanced at the moment. They produce a lot of traffic, so giving them highway access is pretty important. But anyway, let's go ahead and dive in. Okay guys, so I've just made myself a very simple highway on and off ramp. However you choose to connect to the highway is up to you. Use whatever kind of interchange or on and off ramps that suit your area or suit your style. So you can see how this works. We have the two highway lane roads here. This is the main highway. I've just sunken the land beneath it and placed in one of these guys, one of the two-way highways, and then connected some on and off ramps using these guys back on. So you can see how it flows. They have a way kind of on and under this bridge. This is a very, very basic slipway. You can kind of pause the video here if you like, and just get a look as to how that flows. You can see the directions. So pause there if you want to kind of build this. It's really simple. Okay, super duper. So now I'm going to grab my two-way highway, and we're going to draw from this point here into our fertile land by 10 blocks at a cost of 600. Alright, so there, I'm just going to slowly emerge out of this kind of ditch right now. And then from this point, we're going to draw out by a cost of 1,200 or 20 tiles. And that's going to bring us kind of into the start of our farmland here. Alright. So the choice of road you use right here is really up to you. If you want kind of that rural looking farm, then the two-way gravel roads will obviously kind of suit that a lot better. And we'll introduce a couple of these into our build as well. But for right now, I'm going to be kind of going for kind of like a commercialized modern farm. So I'm going to be using the two-lane road with grass for the most of it, but you guys can use any road you like. The industrial road will work quite nice here as well, I suppose, but I'm going to go with the two-lane road with grass, but personal preference, use whatever the hell you like. Alright, then from this point we're just going to grab the end of the road that we just placed, and we're just going to draw out by 250 each side of this, which is a cost of 5 tiles, just to give ourselves somewhere to place our farm main building. So coming into our garbage and industry, obviously we want to be over farming industry and place the farm main building. Now, this is kind of an odd shaped tile, so unfortunately you won't get it lined up with the highway here, unfortunately, with the highway road. But you can make do with it. Okay, so we've placed this thing in right now. So let's just expand these roads out a little further. And then we're going to perfectly box this guy in. So out by 300. Cross by 450, and then down by 300. So the farmhouse is perfectly boxed in. Okay. And then we're just going to extend these roads down a little bit further as well. Okay. So if this is the first farmyard you are placing, then you'll obviously not have all this stuff unlocked. So I'd recommend you kind of play with the farmland and industry area until you unlock kind of all the bigger assets, because it will certainly allow you to build a much cooler looking farm area. Okay, wonderful. So pick out your industry area to the size you need it. It's going to be called olive plantation, which is fine, I guess. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we're going to be working with the crop fields and fruit fields, and maybe some animal pastures as well, kind of whichever ones you want to place here, up to you. Obviously you can kind of change the look of them as well. So I'm going to be using kind of the large crop field predominantly. So I'm going to place this guy right up alongside the kind of highway road. So you guys will kind of get the feel for this as you're driving up this little highway lane. You know, they're driving past all the crops. Of course, if you actually click on these, you can change their appearance. You can go for wheat, which looks pretty nice as well. It really is kind of up to you which one you want for. Maybe go for potatoes. They look pretty cool too. You know, I'd recommend kind of keeping them more uniform. You know, it just kind of adds to that nice, almost like field effect, I suppose. And then you're going to have two nice crop roads that run alongside this highway road like this. And what we're going to do is we're going to repeat that again. So 2 more on each side. Okay, so having placed 2 of them either side of this main highway road, we're now going to have something that looks a little bit like that. So these guys will provide you with your crops and kind of your worker spaces. There's pretty much just a little over 100 jobs between them there, and you're going to have a real nice looking entrance into your farmland because we've got them right up alongside the highway, the little 2-lane highway road, which looks really good. Nice little introduction into the farm. So you can use these as fruit fields if you like as well. You know, feel free to throw in one of the larger fruit fields. You know, it's up to you, kind of which kind of style you want to go for. Maybe even throw in, I guess the greenhouse, we'll save that for elsewhere. You know, pears, you know, whatever you want. Really kind of depends what feel that you want to go for. You know, you're both going to produce that raw crop. So just decide which one works best for you, and then just plop that in. Okay, so from the bird's eye view, we now have something that looks a little bit like that. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come and grab my 2-lane gravel road right now, and then right up alongside the end of each of these fields, we're just going to come down and draw a gravel road that comes down to the back of them, and then just up behind them. Obviously don't hook onto that highway road. And then just bring it up as far as you can. Okay. Then I'm going to place in a couple of little large grain silos along here. One on each side. Okay. This one looks a little bit like that right now. You can use the smaller versions if you like. Use the small grain silos, kind of place them side by side. You can see how they look. Again, all depends on what feel that you want to go for. Alright, so from the bird's eye view, we're now going to be looking a little bit something like this. Again, you know, if you want to kind of add more fields in, feel free to keep adding them either side like that. Okay, now we're going to add in some processing stuff. So obviously we have all these buildings producing crops. We want to do something with those crops. You know, we want to make this farm functional as well. So I'm now going to grab my small industry road, and then from the end of this point right here, I'm going to draw up by a cost of 20, which is 600. So you've now got this industrial road leaving the area. And then I'm going to draw out by a distance of 10. Come into my garbage and industry stuff, and there's a number of buildings you can place here. So the flour mill, cattle shed, milking parlour, and slaughterhouse will all turn crops into a product. Of course, I need to go ahead and expand my industry area out a little bit. Just like that. Yeah, I'm going to go for the slaughterhouse. Just place this guy right on the end like that. Okay. So obviously this guy's a little bit kind of lonely out here by himself like this. So I'm going to come out again with my small industrial road. I'm going to come out by a distance of 10, which is 300. And then hook down into this guy over here. So we're snapping onto this road point. So you have something that looks a little bit like that right now. Okay. Then come back in and you want to grab either the medium crop field or the medium fruit field. Doesn't really matter which one you use. And then I'm going to place this guy up right in the top corner about here. But I'm going to switch him to a greenhouse. So obviously these things are a lot more kind of industrial looking. It was kind of a lot more like modern farm, almost like battery farming. You have this, if you want to keep this as a field, feel free. How you kind of make each of these assets appear is entirely up to you. It really does just kind of come down to personal preference. Okay, and then from this top road here, we're going to grab our 2-lane gravel road. And then we're going to come out by 100, which is 5 tiles. And then we're going to cut straight across up to 320. Now obviously that's going to give us kind of a misshapen road, and we're like, well, we can't really place any of the big assets in here because it's misshapen the road, and we're now working with a little bit of an awkward space. But there is something that we can do to kind of help this. So if we come across to our barns, you're going to go ahead and grab yourself a large barn. We're going to place this right in the corner, which is why we went out by 100, so the barn's right up alongside the road. And then a nifty little thing you can do, just to help kind of decorate your farms out a little bit, is grab a farm fence. And you want to turn off all your snapping except for the angle. And then we're just going to come out right from here. And then we're going to draw up right into the corners of all these tiles. Just going to get it nice and straight. And then just come as close to the edge as you can. You'll see where you hit blue, and you're going to get that little sweet spot in there as well. So this is just going to help you kind of create a couple of artificial fields. You can kind of duplicate this as many times as you like around the farm, wherever you kind of find yourself with awkward spaces. You could also do a similar thing here as well. So where you don't want to place buildings, go ahead and drop in a couple of little farm fences, and it'll just help give you that feel of like, this area is reserved for farming, and it's just one of the farmer's fields that he quite hasn't filled in. And we'll do some nice decorating with these as well. It's also going to just help line the roads with some nice fencing that just helps detail your area out. Okay, so right now from the bird's eye view, we'll be looking at something that looks a little bit like this. Okay, so kind of looking around this place now, you've got some nice little fences that are starting to come together and really help bring this kind of industrialised farm together, which is going to be really nicely, which is going to look really nice. So there's a couple of things we can do as well. If we come ahead and join a district, so this is just a regular district away from your industrial one. Just going to draw out something really small and kind of quite a generic shape, nothing too major. Then come into our industrial specializations and give this guy a farming specialization. So this is the kind of the vanilla industry stuff. The industries DLC expands it via these tabs, and this stuff here is what was around before the days without industry. Now when we zone industrial stuff here, it's going to come in as farm buildings because we chose the specialization as farming. So we can go ahead and draw in some industrial zoning. Now really this part of the build is entirely up to you, kind of how you want to take this. So I'm going to draw my gravel road out like this. So what was that distance? Sorry, that was 120. So kind of make it as you like. And then I'm just going to draw in some nice simple grid patterns. Again, you can kind of take this design in any shape that you like. It doesn't matter. We've got some nice 4x3s in here too. And then draw them in a little bit like that. So take that idea as far as you like, and kind of when we hit play here, you'll see these guys develop as farm buildings. So we'll check out how they look in a moment. And maybe I'll hook this guy up into here as well via this direction. and then maybe another 4x4 on the corner like that as well. So take that as far as you like it. Again, you know, this kind of modular build for the industries really depends on the type of space you have to play with. So just take it kind of as far as you need it. But it's a nice way of introducing some different assets alongside the industries DLC stuff. Yeah, and you can just kind of place them as you see fit. So for those of you that watched the last modular build, you'll know that with the Green Cities commercial specialization, the local and organic produce stuff, the 3x2 commercial tiles will sometimes generate these cute little organic stalls. So we're going to try and implement a few of these in as well. So a lot of the times, at least in England, if you drive past a farm, you'll kind of see a little sign outside that says, you know, like free range eggs sold here, something along those lines. So we're going to introduce a little bit of detailing with that Green Cities policy as well. So kind of where you place this is really up to you. I'm going to kind of go for a little bit of an offshoot road here, and then bring some stuff in. Alright, so obviously we need to apply that local and organic produce stuff, so let's go ahead and throw that in. System right here, organic and local produce, apply that to the district, and then we're going to pop in a few of those 2x3 zonings, just like that. Okay, you can obviously kind of take it as far as you want. Let's maybe hook this guy in like that as well. And then finally, another nice asset you can place is going to be your wind turbine. You can kind of get these in any of the fields that we've planned in for, or just kind of drop it kind of away from the farm. I'm just going to plop it right in this one here. So you know, that's just going to add to that nice industrial farm feel. Kind of, you know, it's got its own power supply. It's all very local and organic and green. So we're going to hit play now and kind of watch this little thing develop as some of that zoning comes into play. And we'll kind of see what we can do. Okay, so we're seeing some of these little other farm assets coming in. You see they're very basic compared to what industries used to be. You know, you'll get some nice buildings in like this as well. And then we'll slowly see kind of how this thing functions. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to carry on using some of the ideas that we've come up with here to kind of make, kind of fill in some of these things, pop some trees in, and kind of do some more things like this as well. You know, if you get these ones in, if you are happy with them, leave them in like this. If not, just delete them and wait for them to regrow into the little organic food stalls. But yeah, I want to go ahead and jump into a detailing time lapse, flesh this pattern out a little bit, and then you guys can kind of see in which direction I take it. But yeah. Speak to you in a moment. guys, apologies for this. Having just looked at my notes again that I made on this, these two dirt roads that link up behind your fields and on the main highway road, you do want to hook these in. Make sure that these are connected. You know, previously they were just kind of ending here. So just hook them in and make sure that they connect. Okay guys, that is going to do it for our industrialized modern farm build. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, a like below is very much appreciated. Equally as much if you didn't enjoy it, please feel free to leave a dislike and let me know why in the comments. Using a whole bunch of different DLCs here, including Park Life for some of the nice paths, alongside obviously industries and green cities for those little kind of little market stalls that you see on farms, almost as if they're selling their own local and organic produce. It really ties in nicely, and it's a nice way of making your farm areas look a little bit different. Also surrounded this farm with very heavy woodland, which just helps add to that nice kind of farm rural feel. And yeah, turned out quite nicely. I really enjoyed it, and you guys can really kind of take this template and move in any direction you wish. You know, this modular build isn't too kind of strict in kind of the rules and the measurements you need to follow. It's really just a kind of a collection of different ideas you can put together to try and give yourselves a little kind of different looking farm area. But yeah, that is going to be it from me. Enjoy the rest of the outro tag and some of the detailing that we did in the time lapse. And if you have any requests for modular builds, please let me know in the comments below. I imagine the next modular build will probably be based on Sunset Harbour, with a new DLC coming up pretty soon. Maybe a transport hub using all the new methods of transport might be pretty cool. But yeah, we'll definitely come up with something for that. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, enjoy the rest of your day.